All right. We are back for some more AOE Leagues 2v2 action, Season 5. And this time we have a Division G matchup between SDG and TabA. SDG, we've got Poppin' Gobbin, Koliasik, and Maria. Those are all players sitting in the 1100 1v1 elo range. And then for TabA, we've got Scramble and Viz2. Scramble, at least at the time of registration, 1180 player, Viz2 a 1080 player. All right, we also this time had the teams post the Civ draft. So we've got SDG over here on the left. And the maps for today, we're looking at Arabia, Steppe. I believe Team SDG picked Steppe, banned Land Madness. TabA, banning Arena, and picking Gold Rush. So we'll have three pretty open maps, Arabia, Steppe, and Gold Rush. That's going to make it pretty hard, I think, to predict which civs are going to be used here. But we've got a Britons and Mongols ban. The Mongols ban, that's surely in reference to Steppe. Mongols really strong there with the hunt. Britons, that's a pretty universal ban. You see it all the time just because they're so strong. And they'd be strong, I think, on any of these three maps. Yeah, really hard to know which civs might be for which map. I mean, you could probably use any one of these Archer Cav combinations on any of these three maps. So I'm actually not even going to try to make a guess here. Let's just get into the games. Game number 1, Arabia. Where are we at? Here we go. Let's roll. TabA versus SDG. So TabA, we've got Scramble here in the gray. The dreaded casting color of gray. Teamed up with... Where's Viz2? Okay, our Mayans player over here. So Magyars and Mayans up against Ethiopians. We've got Maria, the third player on the team, in the yellow. And Hindustanis here in the purple. So Hindustanis, Ethiopians v Magyars, Mayans. And not obvious to me that there's a really clear favorite here. Now, you certainly would favor Hindustanis over Magyars if those two end up in sort of a 1v1 situation. So sometimes you do see it evolve where, you know, these two players are going at each other, these two players are going at each other. If that sort of thing happens, it's an obvious advantage there for... how on earth do I say this name? I'm assuming that's Koliasik. So I'm just going to go with Koliasik. And hope I am attributing the right name to the right player here. Let's take a quick look at the maps here. So, I mean, this is an incredible map here for Scramble. Back gold. The berries aren't great. Those are a bit forward, but you've got three really safe, quite close wood lines. No complaints there if you are Scramble. Over here looking at Viz2 maps. Similar thing, three good-looking wood lines. That gold is pretty safe, and the berries, not so much. So, pretty comparable map. Yeah, man, this one's maybe even better. A little open in the back, but if there's anywhere you want to be open, it's the back. So, yeah, this is, I think, probably a more wallable, closed generation than we're used to seeing. Over here, looking at... boy, already forgetting the boy's name here. Koliasik. Looking at Koliasik's map. That gold's not great. That's pretty far forward. So you might be thinking about getting your production buildings out in front of that. But the rest of the map is looking quite nice. And the berries, better location there for his berries than for Scramble's berries. And when you've got Cav player v Cav player, that's a nice feature because having access to those berries in early feudal is really important for your scout production. And having the forward berries just makes it all the more likely that you are going to be pushed off berries in some of those early scout v scout engagements. Oftentimes when you have berries like this, that's going to really force you to make some small resource walls around your mill and berries, which is maybe what Scramble's thinking about here. He is building the mill, looks like a one-tile gap away from the berries, which does reduce some of the efficiency later in the foraging when you're getting to the back berries, but it does have the advantage of making it a bit easier to get those small resource walls in. All right. Got a little bit of idle time here from our Mayans player, but they're Mayans starting with that extra vill, so that'll come out in the wash, I suppose. And nothing else to see at the moment. Looks like everyone content to push D or scout their own area. No one has... No one's gone off of their scout yet, have they? Alright, I'm going to fast forward here a little bit till we get some scout movement. We've gotten a look at the maps, gotten a look at the players. Keep an eye on those up times. Alright, we've got our first player clicking up, our Hindustani player going for 20 pop scouts, I presume. And looking like 21 pop scouts for our Magyars player. Dropping the barracks there, so... Yeah, this was a tough spot where, I mean, it would be nice to get your stuff out in front of the gold. But... Koliasik here obviously worried about having that Vil too far away from home. So this, I mean, this point you have Loom, but the worry is, like, if your opponent goes for a really fast up, they hit feudal before you're in feudal. Now that scout could suddenly engage that Vil. Nice little poke there. No one on food though at the moment, so that might be a little bit of a problem here for Koliasik getting the initial scouts production. We'll have to keep an eye on that food count. Maria over here being a pest, trying to deny that barracks, but that certainly won't happen. Not with 4 villagers on the job. Okay, here we go. Stable coming down for Scramble. Stable already up here for Koliasik. And Koliasik's gonna get started on the walling right away. And I mean, I guess this is less of a worry having your gold as part of the wall in this kind of situation where you're up against Cav. The worry, of course, if those archers come over, you know, late feudal, you could be pushed off of gold. But less of a threat for the Cav player than for the archer player. All right, over here, Maria dropping double range. Only 1 range coming down at the moment for Viz 2. Yeah, going for some small resource walls, so perhaps worried about scouts coming across the map. A couple scouts just passing there, saying hi to each other. And yeah, we can see production already underway here. 3 scouts on the field for Koliasik. 3rd scout has just popped now for Scramble. Actually make it 4 for Koliasik. And let's see if these players add spears. When you've got Cav v Cav like this, coming to see a spear addition. Should be really aggressive. And yeah, look at this. Koliasik's going to be full walled here. Not too long. Only has this tiny gap left to fill. Already dropping a blacksmith as well. Thinking about some perhaps forging on there, perhaps armor. We'll see. Yeah, probably going to prioritize armor given that purple is heading across the map. Put some pressure on Viz 2. And what's the archer count looking at? 4 archers out here for Maria. 1 archer out here for Viz 2. So there is a military advantage right now for SDG. Let's see if they put the pressure on Viz 2 here together. Scramble is going to be adding a 4th scout. All right, there it is. On the move. Fletching already in as well for Maria. No fletching for Viz 2. And yeah, it's not going to be walled here. There's a gap in the berries. This could be really bad. Scramble's going to need to get over here quickly. Let's see if we're going to spot the flare here from Viz 2 to let his teammate know. Oh boy, scouts are in, archers are in. That wall is not finished. 1 Vil down. Had been a dead even villager count at that point, but now these resource walls, all they do is form a prison for your villagers. And it's already looking really bad here. Viz 2 loses a 2nd Vil, 3rd Vil. Certainly 4th, maybe even more. Yeah, 4 Vils down, off of wood on that side. There is another lumber camp here, but this is going to be in danger as well. Not looking good. And still no fletching on these archers here. So it's going to be impossible for Viz 2 to take a decent fight. Where are Scramble scouts? Are they en route? I'm not sure. Here we go. Okay. Riders of Rohan have arrived. They've got that +1 attack for free as the Magyars, but there's no armor on those. But there is armor on purple scouts as well. So purple and yellow here could take an excellent fight if they notice the difference in upgrades. This should be a great fight here for SDG, given this difference in upgrades. Fletching and armor are huge here. All the scouts are gone for Scramble. 2 scouts left for Koliasik. And suddenly, there is a 7 vil advantage for Team SDG here. And no wood at all for Viz2, except for these straggler trees. And now the resource walls on the gold. Gonna be yet another prison here. Still no fletching on these bad boys. It's already looking very, very bleak here for Team TabA. I've had a bit more production from Scramble. Has brought 4 scouts. Has them on the field here somewhere. I think they're all en route. Viz2 desperately trying to get this tower up, but that is not going to go up. More Vils dying here. 15 villager advantage. And it doesn't look like that difference is going to do anything but increase. Really nice micro here by Maria. Using that hill. Micro and those archers well. And yeah, more Vils going down here for Viz2. The slaughter continues. Yeah, and at this point, Viz2 is just completely idled. Nowhere to go, no way to take gold, almost no way to take wood. We're down to 22 villagers. Alright, and here, I think we're just going to be thinking about Castle Age. Yep, Koliasik on the way up. Maria, probably not too far behind. What's the food count looking like right now for Maria? Green at 9 food, has some gold. Maybe think about getting a market down and buying up to Castle Age. Castle Age also on the way here for Scramble. Scramble and Koliasik sitting at pretty comparable bill counts. So both those two enjoyed a pretty untouched economy. Koliasik, what's going on here? Koliasik has a villager inside of Viz2's base. What is this? Villager who's almost killed by a tiger. He's gonna build a sneaky stable back here? What's the play? I don't know that you need to do too much here. I mean, Viz2 is dead. Dead. I would prioritize... I think... It's gonna go wall in Viz2. Disrespect. Or thinks better of it. Thinks, yeah, I'll just go kill Viz2. So more villagers going down here for Viz2. I really am not sure what that villager's up to, but look at this. Scramble trying to get in here on Maria. Some nice quick walls. Look at the massive archers there. There's a lot of archers on the field. 30 archers in total for Maria. Still hasn't clicked up to Castle Age, though. So we will have knights on the field here for both Cav players for a while. Yeah, this feels still not quite sure what she wants to do here. Just wanted to go for a bit of a sightseeing tour, watch the battle. I think we're going to see maybe a sneak base. Yeah, and look at this full-scale exodus here for Viz2 heading over to make some, I guess, make a new town center in Scramble's base. Alright, there it is. Yeah, it is a sneak stable. But I think Koliasik's going to be a little disappointed. There's not a single villager left around here to use that sneak stable on. But here we go. Camels out, knights out, and yeah, the sort of situation we talked about earlier where we've got a Magyar's player 1v1ing up against a Hindustani's player. That is certainly going to come to fruition here because Viz2 is basically out of this game. And so, yeah, just yet one more thing that is going to make this, I think, pretty impossible for TabA to get back in the game. 15 villager lead for SDG. Maria almost up to Castle Age. And Viz2 will probably be in Feudal Age for the remainder of this game. We shall see. All right. Where's the action now? So I'm surprised these archers aren't putting any pressure on Scramble. Might just be a case where Maria is respecting the knight tech advantage. And yeah, now we see the archers moving out. These will be Expo here in 30 seconds. And it is really hard to imagine Scramble having any chance of surviving against that. In fact, Scramble is making a tech switch. We're going Cav Archer here. Does have 2 stable, open with the knights, but I think because the archer player's out of action, look at this. These villagers are gathering wood, but they don't have a mining camp to bring it to. There's only 36 wood in the bank. So Viz2 needs to be slung wood just to build a lumber camp. So yeah, this is what remains of Viz2's civilization. Oh, 3 of the vills here. But Scramble's about to be dead. Surprised we haven't seen the GG already, but we should certainly be seeing it quite soon here. Maria definitely taking their time getting over to Scramble's base. Alright, here we go. Camel's coming in. Cav Archer's trying to engage with those. Yeah, Camel's doing the right thing here and prioritizing the Cav Archers. Cav Archers are not a good unit until they're in a decent mass. I mean, certainly not in this kind of situation. So prioritizing the military there, I think definitely the right call. There's +2 armor on those camels, and Scramble not microing those archers back enough. Almost all of them are cleared out here. We did have some knights actually counterattacking here for Scramble against Maria, but those will be cleaned by Poliasik's knights. Look at that, 34 villager advantage. Look at the military numbers. 9 military for TabA, 66 for SDG. So this game is absolutely over. Yep, the archers are in. The GG is called. And yeah, that just came down to early pressure. Viz2 wasn't walled yet. That pressure was in. Better scout numbers, better archer numbers, better upgrades on both the scouts and the archers. And then everything from there was just a snowball. Yeah, that KD certainly tells that story. All right, with that, we go to game number 2. So that was for SDG. Let's see, what was the home map here? So the home map for TabA is Gold Rush. So game number 2 will be on Gold Rush. There it is. All right. Game number 2, TabA versus SDG. Again, this is a Division G matchup. And yeah, the best of 3. So SDG takes this. They take the series. TabA take this, it will go to a decider game on Steppe. So here we go. Looks like same players are out here. Maria in the yellow playing as the Vietnamese, playing that archer role once again. Goliasik here in the purple playing as the Lithuanians. Matched up against Scramble as Saracens and Viz2 as Koreans. So we'll, I think, undoubtedly see Cav here from Lithuanians, archers from Vietnamese. A little less clear what we're going to see on this side. This could be a case where Saracens go Expo, Koreans go War Wagon, or we could have a case where Saracens go Camels, Koreans go Archers or War Wagon. I think maybe a little more unpredictability there. But I'm, once again, going to fast forward at least until the point where we get more scouting action. Vietnamese player Maria flaring the starting locations. Of course, Vietnamese able to see the starting locations of enemy TCs. And let's keep an eye on Koliasik's uptime here. Vietnamese with the extra food in the bank to start the game have the potential to get to feudal age really quickly, put some early aggression on. We saw the early aggression pay off in game 1. Let's see if that strategy is duplicated here. Nice deer pushing by these players. I definitely don't think I knew how to push deer at this elo, so props to these guys. We do have Scramble coming out here to scout Koliasik's base. Koliasik going up for 20 pop uptime. Same here for Scramble. Scramble not going to gold. So this looks like Scramble's going to be playing that cav role again. And probably thinking about scouts into camels would be my guess here. Which could pay off again if these players are able, you know, if they end up in the kind of double 1v1 type scenario that you do see a bit more frequently, I think, at this elo than some of the higher elos. Yeah, this would be a great little spot. If Scramble can get this walled and get those, those production buildings right here to that house, got a really nice, safe little base here. And just kind of gradually work on walling the rest of that off. I really like that base with those quite safe golds and safe berries. This map here for Koliasik not quite as good. Yeah, look at that forward gold as well from Maria. Very forward gold there for Viz2. Does have this safe gold, safe berries. Alright, here we go. Stable coming down for Koliasik. Over on this end, stable here for Scramble, so they'll have comparable times on those. And yeah, looks like we'll have comparable 21 pop uptimes here for Viz2 and for Maria. And yeah, those stables go up almost at identical times, and the scout production begins. 1 range, 2 range. No ranges yet here. So again, this might be a case where Viz2 is going to be a little bit behind on archer numbers compared to Maria. Looks like a very clean build here for Maria so far. That gray color, man, it's got me clicking on stone on the minimap. Viz2 trying to be a pest here. I don't think that's a good thing to do in this kind of situation where you're just losing a lot of HP on that scout. And now you're in a position where, I mean, if Viz2 had wanted, could have taken that villager out were he to have a full HP scout. All right, look at this. Scramble is in on Koliasik. And that's going to be a scout down. Probably going to be a villager down here as well. Quick walls coming down from Koliasik. Nice job there. Avoiding losing more vills. But that's 1 vill down and a scout down. So Scramble with a 1 scout advantage now over Koliasik. These are nice quick walls coming down from Koliasik. Let's see if he can get this woodline walled in. Ooh, a vill caught out in the open here. See if Scramble can block with one of those scouts to keep the vill in. Going for the quick walls actually instead of going to the TC. I think that was probably a mistake from Koliasik. Probably could have gotten back to the TC with that vill. But instead that vill goes down. And notice there's also some good idle time here that Scramble's getting out of this. Not just the idle time, but also forcing these scouts to come back. And because these scouts are coming back sort of one at a time, Scramble's been able to take some good fights here. Alright, but over on this end, Archer's moving in. I think Viz2 being a little too aggressive with these walls here. Probably would have been best just to keep that wall to the TC and then get this area walled instead of prioritizing that long wall, because now these archers have free access into the base, and this is looking a little reminiscent of game 1. Let's hope that oh, actually, those archers are pulling back. I have no idea why. This might be a case, actually, where just Koliasik is telling his teammate that he's pretty dead here. Oh, man, this is... I think Maria could have gotten some pretty catastrophic damage in against Viz2. But now Viz2's had the time to get a tower up, so even if these archers do come in, they're only going to be able to get so much damage in. And Viz2's maybe stop the bleeding here a little bit. Where have those scouts run off to? Over here. Yeah, spear out for Kolyasik. That's a nice addition. Scramble wisely bailing on that fight. Actually, there's another scout here. What's the archer production looking like right now? 9 archers on the field here for Viz2. Armor actually prioritized ahead of fletching. I think you're in an archer v archer engagement like this. Definitely want to prioritize fletching over armor. Sometimes it can be a bit different when you're fielding skirmishers, but fletching, remember, is giving you not just additional attack, but also additional range. Alright, fletching's in though. Look at that. Fletching and armor now for Viz2. Viz2 with 11 archers up against 13 archers here for Maria, but only 8 of them forward here. Scout engagement still going on here in the middle. What's the scout numbers at? Looking at 7 for Scramble. Only 3 left for Kolyasik. Another great fight here for Scramble. Has the hill bonus and a huge numbers advantage. And boy, if Kolyasik has the armor as well for Scramble. Oh, look at this. Wolf Rush. Let's go. Alright, yeah, if Scramble brings these scouts over and joins up with these archers, they could go pressure. They could clean this really easily. Actually, I don't know why Viz2's not heading over to this. Viz2's got the numbers to clean this, no problem. Adding some skirms as well. I don't think that's necessary here. They're in a chance here to clean this and then to put a devastating counterattack on Maria. Yeah, Viz2 very hesitant to take the fight here. Viz2 cleaning those archers that are out front there. Those will go down. And oh, look at this. Scramble inside of Maria's base. There is one spearman in defense, but that's a fight that Scramble can take. Takes it, and now Maria off the gold, and that's going to be extremely distracting. Those archers are going to get easily cleaned up here in the midst of all this. This game is looking great for TabA. They've got a 6-vil lead. Huge military lead as well. And yeah, I think at this point, Viz2 should definitely go counterattack. This is a chance to link up with the teammate. Scramble can keep some of those scouts alive. And Viz2 can get over there. They could really, really knock Maria out of this game. Castle Age on the way for both of our Cav players. I like what Scramble's doing here. Keeping these scouts alive, not just throwing them away against the archers. But you're generating a lot of idle time by constantly running around the base like this. And Maria's committed a lot of villagers to wall this. Orville's going to be going down here. Alright, TabA has clicked. Maria is going to be a long way from clicking to Castle Age. But over here, we do have Castle Age on the way for Viz2. And continuing with the archer production, definitely the thing you want to do here. Try to get a good mass so that when you hit Castle Age, you've got a ball of expo that you can go attack with. Alright, the lull before the storm here. Scramble in Castle Age. Kolyasik just about in Castle Age. And what are we looking at? 2 stable production here for Kolyasik. And it's going to be 3 stable off the rip for Scramble. Yeah, Scramble going pretty heavy to gold here. Wants to produce out of 3 stable. That could make good sense here. Actually, it's going to add a second TC as well here, right in the middle. This is a spot I think make a lot of sense to head straight for Kolyasik's base. Get Viz2, heading out about this time, because you're gonna have Expo in about a minute. Look at this Scramble attempting to break in here on this palisade. Let's see if Kolyasik can fend that off. Kolyasik only with 4 on gold, so the production there for the Knights is going to be rather limited. And actually is not walling behind this. Those are going to be in. Oh, we've got an engagement in the middle. Scramble garrisons inside that TC. Some extra damage output. Scramble's got the numbers. This is going to be a doubt TC here, almost certainly. Maria's got some archers in the middle, but Maria's 2 minutes from castle age. Those are just going to get eviscerated by the Knights. I think if you're Maria here, you need to get those back into your base. You got to keep those numbers alive because that is your chance back into this game is to have good expo numbers. I don't think Maria wants to take this fight. No, those are going to get cleaned. Especially with +2 armor on these. What? Scramble's leaving the fight. Scramble, I think, giving way too much respect to those feudal age archers. That could have been a huge clean. That's 20 potential expo. 20 future expo. Oh, I mean, that probably just ends the game right there. But over here, things are not looking good for Koliasik. Koliasik, hang on, I need to look back. I think Koliasik might have been distracted. No, was aware of this. All right. So the Vil lead has blossomed even more. We've got now an 11 Vil lead here for TabA. Expo coming here forward for Viz2. 24 of them. You know what they could honestly think about at this point is, oh, gets the Vil with 4 HP left. Alright, that scout goes down finally after being a pest for so long. Now with these kinds of numbers and with the stone coming in here for Viz2, I think you start thinking about a castle drop, right? A castle, say, on this hill, you're going to prevent this player from ever being able to take access to gold. You maybe even get one at the base so you can range that gold. I'm not sure there. But yeah, Scramble, thinking about taking this fight again. Once again, I think you could definitely take this. You're up against feudal archers, but perhaps now you can get an even more efficient engagement once you have the expo in the action. I think if you're Scramble, get in behind those archers, get the surround, force them to path back toward the expo. And yeah, this is nice, clean, before the expo comes in. The expo's in there for some of the fight. But great timing there by Scramble and Viz2. Jump on that, and the GG is called. Very, very nicely played there by TabA. Scramble getting some early damage in there on Koliasik. Also getting those scouts in on Maria. I think a couple things that could have just changed the tide of that game. If Maria had just dove in there at that start of feudal age with those archers, you're probably in on this wood line in gold before that tower can go up. And I think that's damage that would have been absolutely devastating to Viz2. Yeah, very well played there by Scramble and Viz2. And so that will take us to game number 3. Actually, let's look at the stats here real quick. Woo-wee! Viz2 with a very healthy KD there, 20-5, and for Scramble as well. A very dominant game. I think as much as game 1 was lopsided toward SDG, game 2 pretty lopsided towards TabA. Game 3, here we go. Steppe. The decider game, the home map for Team SDG. So maybe they had a strategy in mind. All right, so we've got this nomadic start here. You start with the extra vills. I think, yeah, 6 vills on this map. And boy, you've got an abundance of decent TC locations here. You could think about getting one between your golds to secure those later, between the gold and the wood. Yeah, that's sort of what Scramble's opting for here. It does put you a long way from the berries, but there's the option of not even bothering with those berries and just going out and milling deer right away, saving the berries for later in the game. All right, in any case, Scramble playing as the Khmer, teamed up with Viz2 as Italians, going for a very wood-based TC here. probably this is a slightly better position, especially as the archer player, where wood and gold are your primary resources. But your vision when you start is really limited, so sometimes you're just sort of dropping. You kind of have to drop those TCs blindly. You can see Kolyasik went for the speed TC, getting that TC down immediately, dropping it right where they started. And obviously, one disadvantage is you're going to have to go and build a lumber camp. But you also have a much more centralized location, so there are advantages and disadvantages to that. Leatherman. Okay, so that's not Maria. We've got an alternate player for the team here. Leatherman playing as the Chinese. So Chinese Bulgarians versus Khmer Italians. Interesting. So I wonder what the thought is behind the Bulgarians' play. The thought might be men-at-arms. You've got the free men-at-arms upgrade. You build those militia, and you can take your opponent off of Hunt. That could be the play there, or it could be focused on Prey Post rushing and Castle H. I'm not sure which of those is the priority. Chinese. Now, actually, I don't know enough about the Chinese start on Steppe. I assume once that TC goes up, you get extra vills. Let's see. Do we have? Yeah, we've got a 2 vill advantage, so that must be the case here. Yeah, so that's a significant advantage. And then you also have quite a good abundance of stone, so you can also think about a Chukunu transition later in the game if you want. Khmer, they've got some nice features on this map. I mean, like the ability to hop in houses means you can mill some of these deer way out here a bit more aggressively in feudal age, because worst case scenario, you just bail out with those vills into a house. We're going to fast forward here a bit up until we get to some players getting up towards feudal age. It's really pretty impossible to have any aggression in Dark Age in the absence of Militia Drush, because you don't even have a scout. You just have these horses to open with. Alright, Scramble going out for the hunt here. Biz2's got the mill way out here. Those berries, that's a brutal location. You can also take some deer from that mill. No one's clicked up yet. Okay, Chinese just now clicking up. 24 pop. $22 pop here from Bulgarians. Dropping the barracks. Hasn't taken any gold yet, though, so I don't think this is going to be men-at-arms. This is looking like straight scouts to me. What about on this side? Those are early farms there for Scramble. I personally think probably better to use that wood towards mills for the hunt for the really early game. And don't drop those farms until feudal age. I think you can get a bit more of an eco boost that way. But that's my suspicion. All right, Leatherman, our first to feudal age at 9 minutes and 45 seconds, and going straight archers here, dropping the mining camp, dropping that first range. And there's the stable there from Kolyasik. So they should have better production here. They got a slightly better uptime than Viz2 and Scramble. Not a huge one, but Scramble dropping a range. I do not like that location, that range. I think you have to drop it out here. You got to be thinking about sort of walling, I think, like this, but you got to make sure that gold is secured. I think you want to drop the range in front of that gold to make sure it can be secured. I understand the worries about it being denied, but remember, there's no starting scout on this map. So you have a little bit more of a grace period of time where you can get some forward buildings out without having to worry about scouts. Yeah, straight scouts here for Scramble as well. Drops that with 5 vills, so Scramble wants that up as quickly as possible. And yeah, we've already got 1 scout on the field here for Kolyasik. double range here. Already 2 archers out. No archers even in production yet here for Viz2. No, sorry, I take that back. There's already one bill out. Second range coming down. And that blacksmith's down. Alright, scouts starting to mass. We've got 3 scouts out, so these can start doing some real damage against hunters. I do like this addition here by Viz2, adding in the spear. Absolutely have to do that if you want to continue being aggressive on the food like this. This Vil, though, this Vil's going to probably get caught out here. Let's see if Kolyasik notices. Yep, scouts heading in that direction. That Vil will almost certainly be toast. Let's see when that spear reacts. Right, spear's coming in, but 1 Vil already down. Some nice pokes there by Viz2. Ooh, look at that micro, though, by Kolyasik. Notices which scout is being targeted by the spear, micros that scout away to keep the aggro, and now all these Vils are going to go down here. What a take there by Kolyasik. That one little bit of micro, and you're suddenly getting 3 more Vils out of it. Things are not looking good right now here for Team TabA. They're already down by 10 villagers. Yeah, between the Chinese villager boost, some idle time, and the killing of those hunting Vils. Scramble's in here trying to get some counter damage, but Leatherman, some really nice quick walls there on the gold. With archers in defense, I don't think there's going to be any damage to be had here for Scramble. These are, I mean, I can't build quick walls this fast. Really nice play here by the Leatherman. Now, there is an escape route for Scramble. They'll be able to preserve some of those numbers of scouts. Let's see over here. We've got +1/+1 in for these archers. But there is armor on these scouts. So I think if these scouts stay masked and these archers get caught out in the open, that's a fight, actually, that Kolyasik is going to be able to take without any trouble. All right. Now here, I think if you're Leatherman, just go be aggressive. You've got these good archer numbers. You've got spears with them. Yeah, go out and try to force a fight. Look at this. That's a lot of scouts. And there's no house. The Khmer housing bonus, not going to be any help here. These Vils running all the way back from the berries. We've got 1 down. We've got 2 down. 3 down. Boy, a 20 villager lead. And these games have been quite lopsided. First one for SDG, second one for TabA, third one here, once again for SDG. Both these players have armor, but there's attack upgrade on Kolyasik's scout. Also has scout numbers advantage, so that's going to be a good fight for Kolyasik. When you're already ahead, even if it's an even trade, you're going to be happy with that. Holy smokes, I did not notice this. Scramble was going actually for an FC build. Wow. Terrible casting here. So Knight's already on the field, so that's a significant tech advantage because these other players aren't going to be up for quite a long time. Thing is, though, with this kind of Vil advantage, Scramble's going to have to get some great damage in. And I think here, if you're Scramble, don't chase. Don't chase these scouts. Take those Knights, go get damage. You have to get damage right now. I also love what Leatherman's doing here. You see that your opponent has this massive tech advantage, and you're just getting walled. In fact, there's just, all that's left is this tiny little gap. Once that's walled, Leatherman's going to be completely safe, and then Leatherman can just focus on getting up to Castle Age as quickly as possible. But yeah, you got to be counterattacking these Knights here if you're Scramble. This is your only chance back into this game, is this kind of tech advantage you have right now. And in fact, that window is quickly closing, as we can see Kolyasik on the way up to Castle Age as well. Only 2 minutes out. Viz2 takes a nice fight there with Vils, but we got more scouts coming in. Surprised Viz2 didn't add more spears into... Oh, okay, there's a spear. Right, yeah, nice defense there by Viz2. Cleans up those scouts. All right, but now where are the Knights heading for Scramble here? These Knights are the only possible hope, and this is really nicely done by Kolyasik, getting these walls down. Again, just being aware of the situation, being aware of what the win conditions are for TabA. I think the only win condition right now is getting some early damage in with these Knights. Yeah, no damage to be had. Leatherman has clicked as well. And Leatherman continuing to build up this mass. 26 archers right there. Once those bad boys become Expo, watch out. Alright, this is open here, though. Scramble could potentially get in. It's a race. I think the villagers are probably going for that gap. They certainly... No! Oh, no. Oh, no. Scramble would have been in. But actually veers out to try to get into Leatherman's base. I mean, it's understandable. Leatherman doesn't know where things are walled here. Or, pardon me. Scramble doesn't know where things are walled here. The knights will be in. But honestly, with this many, even these are just feudal archers. You could take these fights, especially with +1 armor on those. I think Leatherman is going to be totally fine here. Oh, if only Scramble had known. I mean, again, no way to know where the walls are at that time. I think Scramble had a real chance to get in and cause some serious damage here for Koliasik. Could have pushed him off gold, pushed him off berries. Could even, you know, just dive under that TC, kill some vills there for a while. But now Koliasik up to Castle Age himself. Knights already on the field. This looks like a great position here for SDG. Ooh, an open wood line. Got some vills going down. I'm not sure why the sound isn't working here. 2 vills go down there. So the vill lead only 12 now. Alright, Leatherman is up. Expo Bodkin thumb ring. There's lots of res in the bank here for Leatherman, and this is going to become a very scary fighting force here pretty soon. Second TC coming down there for Koliasik. Second TC has been down for a little while here for Scramble. And do we have stone for any of our players? Curious to see if we're going to be looking at any unique units. Yep. University coming down as well, so Leatherman's going to prioritize ballistics over an additional TC, at least for a little while here. Second TC is between stone and trees, so I think we're going to be looking at crit posts here from our Bulgarians player. They've got the military advantage, so they're definitely going to be able to control the map. And when you can control the map, that means you can get crit posts down wherever the heck you want. And I think they'll probably use that to pressure either Viz2 or Scramble here. Big military lead right now for SDG. This is a terrifying group of Expo. 42 of them there. Scramble's got a healthy number of knights. Needs to get that +2 armor. I mean, even with +2 though, you can't take this kind of fight. Not with Koliasik acting as a meat shield. And then where are archers for... Okay, here we go. Yeah, should have a good fight here, though. Oh, no, Scramble definitely can't take this without +2. Definitely can't take this. No, 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 no. I think this is going to be a good fight for SDG. Almost certainly look at the archer numbers. And there's thumb ring on those bad boys. Which further increases the damage output. I don't think that fight would have been nearly so lopsided if Scramble was able to have that +2 armor there. Also, no attack upgrades on those knights. Suddenly, this game feels like GG. We've got a mango out for Scramble. They're trying to find some way to deal with these archers, but with the knights in the mix, those knights will have no problem clearing the mangoes. Bill lead is only 8, but that's not the problem. The problem is the military numbers. Once you get this kind of mass, it's just almost impossible to claw back from. You need your opponents to make some kind of really crucial mistake. See if this mango can get a good shot in here. Ooh, that is one nice shot. Yeah, Viz2 though is going to lose all these archers here. I don't think you want to take that fight. I understand trying to desperately help a teammate here. And again, this is not a fight. Scramble wants to take those knights. They're too small in number. Plus, they don't have the right upgrades. Yeah, and suddenly look at the military number. 17 to 61. Scramble calls the GG. I think that is a very reasonable GG. Pretty impossible to see what the win condition would be at this point. Very nice play there by Leatherman and Koliasik, building up those numbers. Koliasik trying to get a castle here on the opposite side of the wall. We had the GG's called, but only Scramble is resigned. So okay, there we go. Dang. Yeah. I mean, there was some really early damage in Feudal Age on Viz2 by Koliasik's scouts. So that really set Viz2 back. That was going to, we knew that was really going to delay Viz2's uptime. The FC here by Scramble did offer Scramble the opportunity to potentially get some early damage with Knights. But I liked what Koliasik did with those scouts, running them around and keeping the Knights chasing for a while. By the time Scramble got out, Leatherman was already full walled. Koliasik was almost full walled. And by that point, the eco lead for SDG was so significant. And Leatherman had done a great job all throughout Feudal Age of just continuing to mass archers. Kept those safe, kept building up the numbers. Was really consistent and constant with the production. So by the time they hit Castle Age, big military numbers advantage for SDG, at least in the archers department. And then when they took that fight, it wasn't just that they had a numbers advantage, but there was a huge tech advantage. There was thumb ring for Leatherman, whereas Viz2, I believe, did not yet have thumb ring. And then no +2 armor on those knights was an absolute backbreaker there, I think, for Team TabA. So anyway, game number 3 goes to SDG. They take the series 2-1. That was a good one. That was a lot of fun. I think the two teams are quite close in terms of skill, but none of those 3 games themselves were particularly close. SDG dominant game 1, TabA dominant game 2, SDG dominant again in game number 3. Let's pull up those stats here real quickly. Oof. Really nice KD there for Koliasik. Got a lot of good Vil kills there in Feudal Age. Yeah, nice. Very nice build, I thought, for Leatherman. Very clean eco, clean archer production behind the walling. Even though there were some scouts and knights in their base throughout Feudal Age and Castle Age that they had to deal with. Took very little damage from those. All right, well, that will do it for today's cast. I'll be back with some more later this week. And yeah, y'all have a good one.